Welcome, viewer, to A Dark Love, trio of terrifying dating tales. In a tale that turns a hopeful romantic evening into a nightmarish ordeal, we meet Jane, an optimistic soul venturing into the world of online dating. Her quest for love leads her to Tom, a seemingly charming individual she connects with on a popular dating app. The spark of potential romance prompts them to arrange a dinner date, marking the beginning of what Jane hoped would be a memorable chapter in her love life. The evening starts on a promising note as Jane and Tom meet for dinner. The ambiance of the chosen restaurant offers a perfect backdrop for what should have been a night of getting to know each other. Initial exchanges are filled with laughter and intriguing conversations, setting a tone of comfort and mutual interest between the two. However, as the night progresses, Jane's initial excitement begins to wane. She notices a shift in Tom's behavior, which starts to veer into the realm of the odd and uncomfortable. His once charming demeanor now sends a ripple of unease through Jane, casting a shadow over the evening's earlier promise. In an unexpected turn, Tom suggests they continue their date with a walk in a nearby secluded park. Despite feeling hesitant, Jane's desire not to seem rude or overly cautious leads her to reluctantly agree. She follows Tom, hoping her initial reservations would prove unfounded and the night could still salvage a pleasant ending. Yet as they venture into the dimly lit park, Jane's discomfort only intensifies. Tom's demeanor changes drastically, revealing a side of him she hadn't anticipated. The unsettling climax of this transformation comes when he produces a disturbing mask, plunging the evening into a realm far removed from the romantic scenario Jane had envisioned. As the night air grew colder, Jane's unease deepened when Tom suggested they play a game in the dark, secluded park. His eyes gleamed with an unsettling excitement, contrasting sharply with Jane's growing apprehension. She tried to refuse, but Tom's insistence made her feel trapped with no easy way out. Suddenly, Tom vanished into the shadows, leaving Jane alone. The playful tone of his voice turned sinister as it echoed off the trees. "Find me if you can." Panic set in as strange noises filled the silence around her. Every rustle and whisper of the wind made her heart race, fearing what might emerge from the darkness. In a terrifying turn, Jane stumbled upon a note under the eerie glow of a street lamp. Tom's handwriting crawled across the page with a chilling message, "You're doing great. Don't find me too soon." The game had taken a dark twist, leaving Jane feeling like prey in a hunter's game. Frantically, she made her way to the park entrance, her breaths quick and shallow. The feeling of being watched clung to her like a second skin, prickling at her nerves with every step. The once familiar path now seemed like a labyrinth, with shadows lurking in every corner. After what felt like an eternity, Jane escaped the park's confines, her relief short-lived as haunting messages from Tom began to flood her phone. Despite changing her number and moving away, the experience haunted her. Tom's disturbing game had left unseen scars, a constant reminder of that frightful night. Jane's decision to change her number and move was driven by an insurmountable fear that Tom's haunting messages would never end. Despite the physical distance she put between her past and her present, the psychological scars from that night lingered. The unnerving experience transformed her into a shadow of her former self, wary and mistrustful of new connections. The ordeal underscored a chilling reality. Not all horrors are fictional, and some, unfortunately, follow us long after we think we've escaped them. As Jane tried to rebuild her life, another chilling dating story began to unfold. This time, it involved Alex, who had a penchant for romantic gestures. Inviting Sarah to his home for a homemade dinner date seemed like the perfect way to impress. Little did Sarah know she was about to step into a narrative far removed from the ordinary dinner dates she was accustomed to. Alex's house, a grand structure with an air of elegance, initially took Sarah's breath away. However, her admiration quickly turned to unease as she sensed an eerie presence within its walls. It was as if the house itself was alive, holding secrets in its silent whispers and creaking floors. The atmosphere, charged with an unexplained energy, hinted that this dinner would be anything but ordinary. As they settled into dinner, Sarah's discomfort grew. Shadows seemed to move with a life of their own, and whispers filled the air, too low to discern, but too persistent to ignore. It was as if the house was speaking to her, warning her of unseen dangers lurking in the corners of its beautifully decorated rooms. Alex, attempting to lighten the mood, revealed that his house was rumored to be haunted. He laughed it off, claiming he never believed in such tales. But as the evening progressed, the strange occurrences escalated, challenging his skepticism. It became clear that whatever resided in Alex's home was not content with simply being a topic of lighthearted conversation. During dinner at Alex's house, Sarah couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Shadows seemed to flit across the walls, and a whispering voice seemed to hover just beyond the edge of hearing. It was an eerie atmosphere, transforming what was supposed to be a romantic dinner into something unsettling. Alex, trying to lighten the mood, mentioned offhandedly that his house was rumored to be haunted. He laughed it off, saying he never believed in such tales. However, his laughter did little to dispel the growing tension. Sarah began to question whether accepting this dinner invitation had been a wise decision. As the evening progressed, the strange occurrences only intensified. Utensils moved on their own, and the lights flickered sporadically, casting moving shadows that seemed almost human. Sarah's unease grew into fear, and the romantic dinner now felt like a scene from a horror movie. In a moment of honesty, Alex confessed something chilling. His last date had mysteriously vanished right after visiting his house. This revelation sent a cold shiver down Sarah's spine. The thought of being another unsolved mystery filled her with dread, and she knew she had to leave. However, when they tried to exit, they found the doors inexplicably locked. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone. Confronted by the ghost of Alex's last date, it became clear that the spirit sought revenge. Their evening of romance had turned into a nightmare of survival. Terrified, Sarah attempted to flee, but found herself trapped within the eerie confines of Alex's home. The doors, which previously welcomed her, now seemed to mock her desperation with their impenetrable seal. This house, once a symbol of a potential romantic connection, had swiftly transformed into a prison of supernatural dread. Together, they faced the wrath of the ghost of Alex's last date, a specter fueled by vengeance and sorrow. The air turned cold, and an inexplicable fear settled over them as they confronted the phantom. It was a moment that tested their resolve, revealing the thin line between the living and the dead. With quick thinking and a heart pounding in her chest, Sarah suggested they try to appease the spirit. Piecing together the ghost's unresolved anguish, they embarked on a mission to quell the unrest. It was a gamble that required them to tread carefully, navigating through the delicate history that tethered the ghost to this realm. Their efforts bore fruit as the atmosphere lightened, signaling the spirit's acceptance of their gesture. The once locked doors creaked open, freeing them from the haunted house. This experience, though harrowing, served as a bridge between two realms, unlocking the mystery that had ensnared them both. Sarah left Alex's house, her steps quick with the urge to distance herself from the night's frightful events. Though she escaped the physical confines of the haunted home, the memories of that evening lingered, casting long shadows over her heart. She vowed never to return, but the ghostly whispers of the past haunted her still, a reminder of the night she dined with a ghost. In our second tale, we learn how Mark's curiosity was piqued when an anonymous love letter found its way into his hands, directing him to a once grand, now deserted hotel. The allure of mystery and the possibility of romance guided his steps to the dilapidated facade, where time seemed to stand still, and an eerie silence prevailed. Upon entering, he was greeted by an unexpected sight. The hotel, seemingly abandoned, was meticulously set up for a date. Tables were adorned with candles, their flames flickering shadows across walls that whispered secrets of the past. This juxtaposition of desolation and preparation was unsettling yet compelling. As Mark ventured deeper, he discovered a series of clues, each unraveling a piece of a tragic love story that had once unfolded within these walls. The tales were imbued with sorrow and longing, painting a vivid picture of two lovers torn apart by fate, their hearts forever intertwined in the fabric of the hotel. Room by room, the story became more tangible, culminating in a heart-wrenching finale that revealed the depth of the lovers' despair. Mark felt an inexplicable connection to the male lover, his emotions amplified by visions so vivid they blurred the lines between past and present, reality and illusion. The journey through the hotel was a journey through time, culminating in a mirror that didn't reflect Mark's image, but that of the male lover. This moment was a testament to the thin veil separating love and loss, a haunting reminder of the power of emotion to transcend the boundaries of time. Mark's encounter at the historic hotel reached its climax as he stumbled upon the final clue leading him to a grand, ornate mirror. Expecting his own reflection, he was met instead with the haunting visage of the male lover from the tragic story he had been following. This eerie revelation sent shivers down his spine as he realized the depth of his connection to this long-lost tale of love and sorrow. As he stood there, rooted to the spot by fear and fascination, the air around him grew colder. From the corners of the dimly lit room, a spectral figure began to materialize. It was the female lover, her gaze filled with longing and despair, as if she had been waiting for centuries. Mistaking Mark for her lost love, she reached out to him, her hands nearly touching the mirror's cold surface. Her touch seemed to activate a sinister force within the mirror. Mark watched in horror as her hands passed through the glass, beckoning him to join her. The room spun as he felt a pull towards the mirror, a force trying to drag him into a cursed existence, trapped forever in a moment of loss and yearning. Summoning every ounce of his will, Mark resisted the pull. With a Herculean effort, he tore himself away from the mirror's grasp, the room instantly returning to its decrepit state. The illusion shattered. The woman's specter's wails echoed in his ears as she faded away. Her hopes of reunion dashed. Mark left the hotel, the once inviting structure now a symbol of a love that transcended time but was marred by tragedy. The love letter that had lured him there was nowhere to be found, as if it had never existed. Shaken, Mark vowed to heed the lessons of the past and remain wary of the allure of anonymous invitations, forever changed by his brush with a love beyond the grave. In the chilling conclusion of The Cursed Love Letter, Mark's encounter at the historic hotel blurs the line between the living and the spectral, leaving him haunted by the experience. Forever changed, he carries the weight of a love story cut short, wary of the unseen forces that bind us beyond the grave. This brings us to the end of our trilogy for this evening. We hope you have enjoyed our cautionary tales. If you would like to see more of our horror stories, please like and subscribe to our channel to enjoy more terror tales. For now, sleep well, viewer, and we hope to see you next time.